Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's interview. I'm sitting down with Christian of MrOceanCM3882, a YouTube NASCAR channel. How are you doing, Christian?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. This is actually my first interview, so it's pretty cool to be doing this.
Oh, that's awesome. Like we were talking earlier, I think it's hard for other people to gauge the success if they're not in the YouTube circle or whatever. But I think you're sitting at, was it like 1,300 subscribers? I know it's over the 1,000 subscriber mark, correct?
Yeah, we're right now. I think it's like 1,300 or 1,370, so almost at 1,400.
That's
About that
awesome.
mark.
It's cool too because I think it's like a couple weeks ago I got to speak to Zachary Tinkle, and he's like 17 and he races out of Indiana. I'm making hope I don't like butcher that, but he races out of there, and it's cool because you're getting the perspective of someone who is just now getting to that point to where they're gonna start looking into how do I get a ride in NASCAR. And I feel like
Yeah,
it's the same way with your channel. It's cool because you get that perspective instead of here's someone who has all these viewers. You get the perspective of someone who has had that success but still building. So
yeah.
I guess to get started, and I know this wasn't one of the planned questions, but where did your name come from? Because that is something that has really just intrigued me. I think ever since you started following my page.
Well, my name, it's kind of random. The numbers. I'll start with the numbers. The Mister. Actually, I'll go with the Mister part. I'm a boy. I just put Mister in there because I thought it was just something to put. I don't know. Um, the CM part, I'll save the ocean part for last. The CM part comes from, I used to be big into WWE
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. Not so much anymore, but
Yeah.
I used to. And there's this one dude called CM Punk, one of the wrestlers.
Yeah.
And he was like me and my brother's like favorite or something like that. One of the like guys we both liked. So we just kind of threw that in there. And then the 3882, I'm a huge Earnhardt fan, as you may know.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3, obviously Dale Earnhardt. The 88, Dale Jr. And the 2 was, it stands for Brad Keselowski, because at the time of making the name, it was just originally meant for an Xbox 360 account.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my brother were going to share. So we put the 2 in there for Brad Keselowski. But I also like to think of it as like Dale Jr.'s 2 Busch titles or his 2 500 titles.
Yeah.
It has can have that significance. And the ocean part was just kind of just some random thing, honestly. Just 4th grade me was like, ocean, that kind of sounds kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird thing is, I don't even know if I've ever been to an ocean up to that point in my life, so I don't know where in the world I got really that part from. But I don't know. I guess I just 4th grade me thought it sounded cool, and it's stuck around ever since.
That's really cool. I did not think it was gonna be that complex. And
Yeah.
I was growing up. We were huge wrestling fans, and like I still follow it today. And I used to be to the point where whenever someone said they were from Chicago, that was my first question was, "Oh, do you know CM Punk?" And once again, it's being like the inner like redneck is coming out when I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna ask you about like the Cubs or anything that Chicago's really known for. It's just this random guy that wrestles.
Yeah, a lot of people, they're like CMs, that mean centimeters. I'm like, no. Understandable that I guess they think that, but
Mhm.
no.
So how did you first become a NASCAR fan?
Well, I guess you could say I was a fan since birth, that's kind of cliche, I guess, but
Mhm.
it's really the truth, because my mom and dad, they started watching it, I think, in like the late 90s, and I've been watching it really ever since. And so when I was born, I just kind of watched it with them. Obviously, as a little kid, you kind of just do whatever your parents do. I found it obviously pretty cool. I guess who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But I wasn't really like a hardcore fan. Obviously, when you're a little kid, it's like you don't watch every truck race or every Busch race or Xfinity, whatever you want to call it. But I didn't really get like a big fans until probably like 2014 or 2015. But I always liked it and always watched it, just not like as dedicated as, I guess, as I am now.
Yeah. One thing I'm envious of, like the newer fans, is that there's so much access. You know, you've got all these websites dedicated to it. Like when I first
Exactly,
became a
yeah.
fan, that's when they put the bush races on FX, and FX you had to pay for like a higher package, so I could only watch the
Uh,
bush races when I went over to like my grandparents' house.
yeah.
So I am very envious of that, and I'm like, man, I wish that this could have all just been like years ago.
Yeah, because I feel like nowadays it's easier to be a fan or get more into
Mm,
NASCAR because you got like obviously all the races are on like all over YouTube, all the old ones
yeah.
and all that. Like there's so many races on there, and obviously I feel like the races nowadays are more accessible. Like you can watch them on apps, or even if you want to watch it bootleg on like some Twitch stream,
Yeah.
you can watch it in a lot of different ways, and there's like hundreds of races at people's disposals now versus back then you really didn't have that option.
Yeah. So you become a NASCAR fan. Tell us a little bit about deciding that you wanted to start a channel and how you kind of chose to have your own style, you know, versus a more of a commentary on races or whatever.
Well, I decided to make my channel, I feel like the way most people do, and that's just, I was watching people do videos, and I
Hmm.
decided I might as well try this. I remember I would always watch gameplay videos. What If Racing comes to mind. I used to watch him a ton.
Hmm.
He does NASCAR video game stuff, and I don't know, I just was watching, whatever, NASCAR videos or gameplay, and I decided it would be pretty cool to try this just for fun. I obviously, back then, a few years ago, I wasn't all super serious and all
Hmm.
that. I was just holding, like, my phone up to, like, the TV screen and
Hmm.
just making videos. But I just decided I would end up trying it for fun because it seemed like something that I would enjoy, and obviously, since I've stuck with it, I definitely do enjoy it,
Hmm.
especially as it continues to grow. And I decided to do the videos I do now, like I guess you could call them compilations
Yeah.
almost, or whatever you want to call them, because I didn't really feel like my channel would, or I would suit well being someone like Eric E. Step. Like he makes great work.
Hmm.
I like to think, like breaking news and all that, but I didn't think that I would be able to grow my channel by like sitting in front of a camera and just kind of talking about NASCAR. Because I felt like that would get boring and repetitive. So I
Hmm.
decided that I kind of let NASCAR itself do the talking, and that's why I kind of have way more clips than I do my own audio in my
Hmm.
videos.
I think that's important for anyone that's pursuing, I guess, especially in the realm of YouTube, is to make sure that you're doing something that you enjoy versus something that, oh, well, this guy's super popular doing his thing. Because, you know, the way I see it is, if this is something you're going to be serious about, why do you want to spend 6 to 8 hours a week doing something you hate, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of why I don't do like more in-depth videos.
Hmm.
Like, don't really know an example. I guess like people like the Iceberg, they kind of have more in-depth
Hmm.
videos. Like they're talking throughout it. They're typically probably there's less clips and more of them talking. But whenever I tried to do those, I just wasn't having much fun with it.
Hmm.
So I decided to just stick with whatever I was having, fun with, because I didn't find a sense in trying to copy someone's style and just like not have any enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, whenever I was first putting together mine, I was thinking, well, maybe I want to be the person that tells it like it is and is just super honest. But I started realizing that at heart, I'm way more of a nice, like I'm a nice guy. I'm not someone who wants to go on and trash someone. And plus, I was
Exactly.
like, I would hate the opportunity to one day meet someone and have to tell them like, or they say, "Oh, you're the guy that did the 10-minute video about why I was the worst driver," or I was part of
Yeah.
your series, and I'm like, I'd hate to get beat up by Robert Presley or something. So,
Oh no.
so your channel features a lot of awesome content. Is there a video that stands out as your favorite? Either you learned something from it, or you just had a blast, researching or making it.
I don't really know if I really have a favorite video, so to say. I guess one that comes to mind is, I don't know if you've seen it. I think it's probably the most popular video on my channel now. I think it's called All NASCAR Underdog Wins of the 2010 decade. And that kind of has, like, any underdog winner, whatever I classified as. Some people obviously disagreed on some of them. But whatever I classified as an underdog win in either Truck, Xfinity, or Cup, I kind of just put it into one big video. And it kind of ended up being like half an hour long. So it took really long to kind of put the clips together and then like edit it and, you know, do all that stuff. But so it took a long time, but to see it get so many views as it does now and like have so many people like it, like I'm pretty sure it probably has the most likes of any video on my channel too. Just to see that like good response probably made it my favorite, just because, you know, to put all that effort in and to get rewarded with so much, I guess, good feedback, I guess you could say, it just felt good.
So is this something that you're wanting to pursue as a career, or do you see this as just being a hobby as you go off to college or to work or whatever?
I would, if the opportunity presented itself, I would love to do this as a career. Like, say, down the road, if I somehow got like 10,000, 100, you know, hundreds of thousands of subs somehow, I would definitely, and it was financially viable, I would definitely try and make it a career, give it a shot. But right now, you know, 1,000 subs, it's on YouTube, it's big, but also small. Yeah. In the like whole scheme of things. So right now, it's kind of just like a hobby, right, for now anyway. It's a hobby, but a very like, dedicated hobby, I guess you could say. But if I ever had the chance to make it a job, I would definitely give it a shot, probably.
Okay. And so I saw a little bit of your recent diecast video where you're going through your collection, and I came up with 2 questions based off of that. And that was, number 1, what's your favorite collectible in your whole collection? Like, is there something that stands out, diecast or autographed or whatever, that you think, man, this is the most valuable, or this has the best story, or whatever?
I would say probably my favorite diecast is probably also the most valuable one I have, and that's the Martin Truex Jr. 2017 Las Vegas prototype 124 diecast. And the story behind, if you don't mind me kind of rambling, behind me getting that is so every year around November, December, Lionel Racing on their YouTube, probably all the other social medias, but on YouTube is how I found it. They have this thing called Diecast Santa, and basically you either comment on their YouTube video or post on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, a photo of a diecast you want, and kind of just explain why. So in 2017, I entered it because, you know, it's a free diecast, why not? Yeah. So I enter it, and I said, at this time, Junior had, this was after Homestead, so Dale Jr., who was my favorite all time, he just retired, and I had been liking Truex for a few years, so I decided Truex, he's kind of moving up the pedestal, you're my new favorite now. So I decided to ask Diecast Santa for a 2017 Truex Las Vegas diecast 124. Because at the time I didn't have any Truex 124s. I think I only had like 2 124s in total at that time. And that was the only Truex car that was out at the time. What I didn't expect, so I figured I'd just get like a standard one if I did win. But surprisingly, I ended up actually getting the prototype version. Awesome. And for anyone watching that doesn't know all about diecast and stuff, a prototype is basically like a rough draft diecast. And for whatever reason, they're pretty valuable. So to win that, get it, you know, for free was pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to keep that in mind for December now.
Yeah, you can like post it on like a photo of a diecast you want on Instagram or whatever, and then like, you know, you might as well give it a shot. It doesn't hurt.
I'll have to make sure that I'm on my best behavior, so that way Santa can bring me a nice little maybe Mike Waltrip prototype or something. Yeah. So that's your favorite item. If you could add one item, and it could either be realistic or unrealistic, or you give me both of them, what would you want to add to your collection?
If I could add one diecast to my collection, it would actually probably not be a car that was actually produced and that's out there right now. Well, I guess if I had to, I'll kind of do two. If I had to pick one that was actually produced, it would be the 2014 Dale Jr. Daytona 500 race version. Because, he was my favorite at the time. I have good memories with that race. I wasn't there, but I stayed up I think it was till 2 a.m. It was very late, or early, I guess, and saw him win, so that was pretty cool. But if I had to pick one that wasn't produced, it would actually be Kyle Busch's 2017 Dover win. And that's because, while I'm not a huge Kyle Busch fan, that 2017 Dover playoff race was actually the first race I went to. So it was, it was pretty I don't want to say heartbreaking, but saddening to, not be able to get a die cast from my first race. But I'm sure down the line I'll probably end up asking a custom maker, because there's plenty of good ones all over Instagram and all that. Probably end up asking one of them to make one for me, because that'd be just a cool, I guess, piece to have.
So at the speaking of that, at the Dover races, do they have the little place where the unofficial dealers sell their die casts and their shirts and all?
I didn't actually go there, but I believe it's across the street from Dover.
Okay. There's
little gypsy tents, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And basically it's just where all, just not the officially licensed stuff is sold, but it's just a bunch of older stuff from people just trying to, I guess, sell off their collections or whatever. But I'm pretty sure that, from what I've heard, I didn't go there or go to the tent, sadly, but from what I've heard, they're typically across the street or around the speedway.
Yeah, because when I went to Talladega, I didn't really get a chance to explore a lot, but I try to attend each Charlotte race every year, and they have them across the street, and that's become one of the highlights, because you'll find tents that they'll have everything for $1 in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I love a lot of small teams. The last time I was there, I was like, man, here's my Corey LaJoie shirt, here's my Brian Vickers shirt, here's my David Ray. So I was loading up on stuff. And a lot of the diecasts too, they'll have if you're enjoying older stuff, or if you don't mind the packaging being a little water damaged, they'll have a lot for $10 or whatever. So
yeah, I've heard you can get some really good deals, because people at the tent, they just want to sell it off. I'm pretty sure they don't. Most of them probably don't care necessarily if it's or sticklers about, oh, this is rarer than this car, so it's more, all that.
Yeah, it's definitely, whenever I take new friends to a race, I always take them over there, because I'm like, it's a flea market, 2,000 feet away from them going 200 miles per hour. So, but yeah, I really appreciate you stopping by today and chatting, Christian. If people want to learn more or check out these videos, where would they go to check them out at?
If you guys want to check out my channel, just go to it's called MrOceanCM3882. So Mr. Space Ocean CM3882. I try and post videos a couple times a week, and I hope that if you're new, you'll check them out and subscribe if you like them, because I hope you guys will.
All right, thank you very much, Christian.
Thanks for having me.